Welcome to this episode of Bloomer Talks. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 steps to finding your divine purpose so you can gain clarity on becoming the person you were destined to be. Before we begin, please be sure to subscribe to Bloomer Talks and share this with a friend that you love. Okay, so let's begin by discussing what is the definition of purpose. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or which something exists. So I want to focus on the word created. In order to know why we were created, it's probably a good idea to talk to the creator or hear from the creator. And luckily, we have this book called the Bible that tells us what or who our creator is and why he created us for. And not only that, you don't have to look further than the very first line. It says that God created the heavens and the earth. Now, when you meet somebody, what is the first thing you tell that person about yourself? Or if you're a marketer, what's the most important part of your message? It's the hook, the first thing you say. Well, God isn't any different. So from the very first line, we know that God is a creator. Okay. Not only is God a creator, but later on in the very first chapter, we find out that he created us in his image. So the creator made his creation to create. That makes a lot of sense. And he created us in his likeness, so that we may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock, all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So pretty sweet. We were not only made to create, but we were given dominion over all that is to be in this world, right? And, I hear oftentimes people say, well, I'm just not creative. And I think that's because a lot of people think creation or being creative is just like drawing or writing or singing, but it's so much more. You can create a business, you can create software, you can create a community. So everyone is put on this earth to create something. And if you're not creative, chances are you're probably distracted. Netflix, social media, even your job, because a lot of times we are working in careers that are not our purpose. We are just helping fulfill maybe somebody else's purpose or somebody else's dream. And that's why a lot of us will tend to feel stuck. And we mess up our purpose, or we confuse our purpose with success, gaining money. So if you don't know what your purpose is, it's probably because maybe you were like me. I always felt that I was called to be a teacher, a coach, a voice. But I was like, what I naturally like to do, which is to help others, I had this thought like, well, how am I going to make money? Teachers don't get paid much. I don't know anything about coaching. And these are what's called limiting beliefs. And what happens is when we have these limiting beliefs, we start doing things that are not our purpose, and then we fall flat, and then we get more limiting beliefs like, oh, I'm just not good enough, I don't belong, all these negative beliefs, but it's because we haven't found our purpose, so we become stuck, okay? And the most important thing is creativity comes from God. It comes from the divine. So we are oftentimes trying to think our way out of being stuck or finding our purpose instead of actually being in silence, instead of creating space. In order to connect with the divine, we need that space. We need that silence. That's why you'll hear a lot of people say you should meditate. Okay? Meditation, concentrating on your breath, allows for that divine connection. Why do you think that most of your best ideas, they come really early in the morning, really late at night, while you're in the bathroom, while you're driving, even working out, because you're not thinking. When you're not thinking is when those good ideas come. Have you ever had like a paper due and you're like scrambling trying to get this done and you just get writer's block, you don't know what to write? Well, oftentimes if you just remove yourself from that situation and you go on a walk, let's say to nature, to clear your head, all of a sudden just things start coming to you. I know that's happened to me. So in order to find our purpose, we need to know, we first need to begin to create. And in order to create and find what we're here to create, we need that connection with the divine. Okay? And like I mentioned, prayer is a big one. Giving thanks, asking, hey, God, why did you put me here? Okay. But if you're always distracted, if your mind's always running, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to create. Now, the second step into finding your purpose is love. Love what you do. But a synonym for love is to serve. Jesus' first two commandments were love your God with all your soul, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And the second was love your neighbor like yourself. Replace the word love with serve. So serve God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Serve others like you would want to be served. The problem is we are thinking about ourselves. We want to serve ourselves, get money to fulfill a lack. A lot of times we want to have all this money because there's a lack inside. Lack is the opposite of love. And if we are looking to get money, like I was, so we can impress, so we could feel good about ourselves, so we could have confidence, so we could get girls, so we could have a nice car, so people would envy us, so more people want to be around us, well, that's not love. That's very selfish. Love is selfless. Instead, reframe that into how can I serve others? Jesus was the epitome of that. We're talking about God in the flesh came down as a humble servant and he was washing people's feet. He even gave his own life. That's how much he loved us. And think about it. You get paid according to the value you provide. And this goes beyond anything biblical. These are just laws of nature. You get paid according to the value you provide, and your impact is dependent on the value you provide. It's no wonder that it doesn't matter where you go in the world. Jesus' name still reigns today. Everyone, whether you're Christian or not, knows who Jesus is because he gave the most love. He gave the ultimate sacrifice. So he has the most impact even thousands of years later. So if you want to find your purpose, you want to love more. Okay? The first thing that God says to us when he spoke to humans, he said, be fruitful and multiply. So in other words, give value and that value will multiply. Just look at an apple tree. It grows from one seed, grows a tree with all these apples that then produce other seeds. And multiply doesn't just mean to create babies, but that is a good analogy as well, because if you have a son or daughter and they get married and they have a couple of babies and now you have grandchildren, it keeps going, it keeps multiplying. That's what's the cool thing about God is that if you give value, it's not an even exchange. Let's say Steve Jobs created the iPhone. From the iPhone, there's all these apps. So all these different jobs created all these different accessories that are used with the iPhone. It multiplied. So in order to find your purpose, think of what your creative gifts are and how you can use those creative gifts to serve others. Tony Robbins is another great example. Tony Robbins gets paid a lot of money to what? Talk. That's the greatest. That's the people that are most successful get paid on the value they provide, not how much they work. It doesn't get paid on time. So Tony Robbins could talk for like an hour and make over $1 million because through his words, he's transforming lives. So if I go to a date with Destiny with Tony Robbins and I come back and I'm a better husband, and because I'm a better husband, my wife is happier, and because she's happier, she becomes a better mother. You see how that multiplies? That's the power of value. That's the power of serving others. And that's the power of giving love. And by the way, the Bible also speaks of the power of words. A man shall eat good by the fruits of his mouth. Even Jesus Christ was referred to as the word. So watch what you say, because your words become your own prophecy. So if you say negative things about yourself, I'm not creative, I'm not good enough, I'm not getting paid what I should be, I don't know what to do, your mind believes that. Your thoughts become your reality. Okay? The third thing is make sure that we're experiencing joy. If you're using your creative gifts and you're serving others, that's going to bring you joy because you're doing what you love and making others people feel good. Those are one of the 6 human needs is contribution. And then through your contribution, you feel significant, another human need. And another human need is love and connection. So now you're connecting with others because you're feeling good and you have these creative gifts. All of a sudden, you have all this joy. And joy is what's going to keep you going. As a matter of fact, surprise, surprise, there's a scripture about joy. Do not be grieved, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. Nehemiah 8:10. So not only are we commanded to have joy, joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit, but that's your strength. Because when you can have joy, even when things don't go your way, that's the ultimate sign of faith. It's easy to have joy when you're out with your loved ones, when you're having a good time. But those days, those dark days where you don't know how you're going to pay your light bill and you still find a way to have joy, that's strength, because now you're saying, you know what? I believe in God. I'm not going to let this affect me. And that's the ultimate faith. Okay. So just a quick recap. In order to find your purpose, you first got to know your natural gifts and think back. Think back to your earliest memories. We all have those memories. Some of us might have forgot we are artists. We had this natural inclination to just write what we saw. And then somebody told us down the line that, artists don't get paid. It's similar to what happened to me, where I thought, oh, well, teachers don't get paid much. Coaches don't get paid much, It could be a variety of things. Just think back to your earliest memories. Make sure you create space. Make sure you're praying and meditating and doing all these things that are out of your head. All right. And once you find something that you love, because they're your gifts, God gave us all gifts. And like I said, it could be creating community. Maybe you're a people person. You're very extroverted. Start doing that. Now you're operating from a place of love, a place of abundance. You're connecting with others. You're serving others. You serve one people. You're like, wow, I like this. And it multiplies. The more you serve others, the more others will continue this upward trend of serving. So, and through your creativity and through your love to serve others, that will bring you joy. That will keep you going. Remember, joy is your strength. So thank you for joining me on this journey to finding your purpose. Don't forget to leave a like. If you're watching on YouTube, share this with a loved one. And for more content on how to live a purpose-driven life, make sure to subscribe to Bloomer Talks. Until next time.